Previously on Gears.
Time for Disi's Double D's. Give us a quick intro, Disi.
It is, but I thought the joke that you were telling was turning my mic off.
No.
That's what I thought you were doing at first. That's why I was quite upset. Anyway, okay.
It's a joke.
I'm not just very good.
Yeah.
Okay, on my first Disi's Double D's today, according to arrivealive.co.za, drunk driving is one of the biggest threats to road safety in South Africa. Research indicates that 50% of people who die on the roads have a blood alcohol concentration above 0.05 grams per 100 milliliters. In many countries around the world, like for instance Australia, there is a zero tolerance to driving while under the influence of liquor. Unfortunately, in South Africa, this has not always been the case. There is, however, a move towards the zero tolerance factor, and in fact, the acceptable alcohol limit has been reduced. In line with this and general public awareness, many responsible people are now following the rules and do not drink and drive. This has led to new options being available to us when we pop into our local pub for a quick drink and end up making an evening of it, which we do very often, Sash.
Yes, we do.
Calling a cab results in your car standing overnight in a car park where it is at risk of being stolen or broken into. So we all need an alternative, and that's why we have Philip from CUHome in studio today. Hi, Philip. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Morning, Daisy. Well,
Phil
just
the
gone afternoon.
Phil the legend, but not the other Phil. Have you met Phil the legend?
Not yet.
This is Phil the legend. You know him? You look much better than him, Phil.
He helps,
that's
Phil the legend helps a man who
He would have helped Guido.
Guido, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Never mind. Listen, it's great to have you in the studio. And number one, thanks for helping out Disi the other night.
Yes.
Cool, no problem. It was an absolute pleasure.
I think he lost an eardrum. I spoke so much on the way home.
That's very unlike you, Disi, after a glass of wine.
Okay, Philip, starting off, tell us a bit more about yourself first.
Right, well, born in KZN, so grew up as a banana boy. Left the KZN, went over to the UK, spent 11 years there. Came back here, so come from an environment where drinking and driving is very much a zero tolerance, like below zero tolerance. One drink, that's it, you're finished, locked up, license taken away kind of thing. So, very much entrenched in me. Worked for a lot of technology companies, some big global guys. So customer service being key to what I've grown up with, really, in sort of a working environment. So, had a friend of mine who had a few drinks at a whiskey club meeting. And, he proceeded to try phone, and I do say try phone, one of the other guys in the industry, in the social transportation industry, and waited and waited and waited. And I was thinking, you can't, this can't happen. So hence why I decided at that point to, start CUHome. Got another friend involved, a guy by the name of Eugene, and we started CUHome. That was going back, talking about it, a year and a half ago now.
Wow.
Is that how long you've been going?
Well, we launched officially in November last year.
Okay.
But we've been talking about it and planning it, and it's gone through so many different changes from, one late night watching a Top Gear episode where they folded up bikes and stuck them in the back of the car.
Yeah.
That was our idea, and we soon realized that those sorts of bikes don't exist, and the last thing anybody wants is a bike stinking of petrol being put in the back of their car.
Correct.
So we quickly changed that, and the guy that we happened to be talking to at the time said, well, look, let me come up with a design for you on this razor type scooter type thing. And then I was, sounds good, but I wouldn't want any of my drivers riding along Vidkoppen at 2 o'clock in the morning on a little razor scooter. So canned that idea, and we just thought, why reinvent the wheel? Let's do what the other guys are doing, but do it better and do it properly.
Yeah.
So hence where CUHome started, and the whole idea of it started.
So the model is somebody calls your company CUHome, say, listen, I need a lift in an hour's time. I'm at so-and-so. What happens from there?
Well, first off, there's a step before that. So
Okay.
We do have 2 locations in Johannesburg, the Hogshead locations, where people can take ad hoc lifts from the Hogshead, but it's only from the Hogshead.
Okay.
What we prefer people to do is join as the other companies in a sort of subscription type basis. The reasoning for that is it's not just to take people's money every month without giving them a service. It helps us plan a service better, because if I know I've got let's say 1,000 people to take. That's my customer base. I've got a formula that I work out, and that says I need X number of drivers, and those are the drivers that we schedule for that evening.
All right.
You get the formula wrong, your service doesn't deliver.
Correct.
So hence why, coming from an IT and telecoms background, maths being key to me, my formulas are pretty good.
I must say, time-wise, because I've also been in situations where I've had to wait for really long for someone to pick me up. Time-wise, I think you were there within 20 minutes on Friday night. I was really surprised and very happy.
You must probably got a little bit lucky that Philip's formulas are so brilliant.
So clever.
But there's a couple of things I want to get through here. First of all, if you're listening, this is a Gauteng or Joburg based, northern suburbs based concern at this stage. They are on Twitter. C as in the letter, U as in the letter, and then home. CUHome. Go and follow CUHome SA. So go and follow them. And then, of course, you can inquire about their services. Or let's get that out of the way. Are you on Facebook, or do you have a website?
Yeah, Facebook, website, Twitter.
All right, so it's all there, and then you can go and find out how you can get involved, subscribe, etc., etc., and what are those services. First question I want to do: where do you get the drivers from?
We source drivers from all over the place. So one of the things that we've done, and this is why we can deliver, our philosophy is basically we're with you within half an hour. And that's been tried and tested on numerous occasions. And 9 out of 10 times, yes, there is the odd time that we're there 35 minutes or maybe 40 minutes, but generally we're there within half an hour. The way we do that is very simple. We employ drivers in the particular area where our customers live.
Correct.
Easy, because then most people are going to go out within 10 kilometers of home.
Yeah.
So if I know that I've got a driver that lives in, let's choose Fourways for instance, I know that he can get to pretty much anywhere in Fourways and a few suburbs around within half an hour.
Correct.
So that's how we recruit our drivers. It's mainly location based. So as we expand, we then recruit drivers in particular areas. We're looking for drivers in Pretoria at the moment, for instance.
Okay.
So yeah, and that's how we recruit our drivers. Got to be experienced. Got to have PDPs and things like that, because it is a legal requirement if you're earning a salary from driving.
The other thing I wanted to ask, okay, that looks after the drivers. In terms of the formula of how you work out, if for example you are a member of your organization and you're not a member of your organization, I assume the person who's the member is going to get priority, but you're going to try and satisfy both of your clients.
Well, it really depends on, is that client drinking from our Hogshead locations.
Okay.
Hogshead locations, they've actually got a dedicated driver to those locations. So ad hoc, the guy literally walks to the front door, says, I want to go here, and he's gone. They take him straight away.
Yeah.
We have other drivers outside of those two drivers that are in those particular locations that will look after our contracted customers. So we would generally, that's how we run that side of things.
What kind of packages do you have?
We've got, I think we've just ranged another one. We've got 6 packages. Ranging from 100 Rand a month up to 660 Rand a month, and all based on how many kilometers are included with your upfront rent. So the more you drink, the higher your package. We also have a 1 month and a 6 month option, which means you're not tied in
for
long term.
Yeah.
Because we want our service to make you want to stay with us. We don't want to tie you into a 12-month contract and force you to use our service. We want our service to speak for itself.
Yeah, very good point as well. You've looked at the models as well, Philip, and I mean there are some very successful. I love the word that you used here, social transportation. I think that is the best thing I've ever heard.
Yep.
Well done.
That's a phrase we coined when we started
the I think it's brilliant.
Yeah,
brilliant. There are some very successful people who are doing what you're doing as well, and I'm sure it is quite fierce out there. It seems though your model, you've stuck to it, and you've said, listen, we're going to service these areas, and from there hopefully you will expand. But there have also been a lot of other companies that have tried to do this and have unfortunately failed as well, because I think what you're doing and what others are doing is such an essential need in today's environment. Why do you think the others have failed?
Well, I personally think that the reason why companies like ours have failed is people don't see it as a way to get home safely. They see it as a way to get around a roadblock. So if the roadblocks don't exist, for instance, in the Pretoria area, there are not a heck of a lot of roadblocks in the Pretoria area.
Yeah.
So your concentration of people that actually have this service is not as great in the Pretoria area as in, for instance, the northern suburbs, where there are roadblocks every 100 meters.
Yeah.
And that's when I think that mind shift happens, you're going to then get people using this service more, because they realize then it's not just to get you around the roadblock. If I wanted to get you around a roadblock, easy. Put up a car in front of the roadblock, drive you through it, drop you off on the other end. That's not what the purpose of it is. And this is where I think other people have failed, to be quite honest.
How do you compare to your competitors price-wise?
We're definitely, on the contracted side of things, by far the most reasonable in, well, let's call it Gauteng and Pretoria at the moment, and South Africa. We're hoping to be able to expand fairly shortly into Durban and Cape Town. But yeah, that all depends on how many people request the service. If we haven't got a client base in those areas, then there's no point in us extending to there.
And how do people sign up? Do they go to your website? Do they give you a call? How does the process work?
Yeah, so we've got a full e-commerce website. So coming from a technology background, I've created a full e-commerce website. So literally somebody can log on, they create a username and password, stick a credit card in, and they instantly buy the package, and then it's live for them from that point on.
All right.
So you literally within 5 or 10 minutes you can go and buy a 1-month contract, and you're ready to rock and roll.
Fantastic. It sounds really, really good.
I just want to
great
mention
model.
one more thing. You're also running a competition on Twitter. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yes, so anybody who follows us on Twitter and retweets any of our tweets stands in line to win a free trip home. So to try our service out, give us a bash and take it from there.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that is brilliant. Wish you all the great success, because I think, and hopefully you get bigger and bigger, because this is something, people, that is essential. And sometimes I'm a great preacher and not a follower of my own speech. But do yourself a favor, if you've got that opportunity, instead of having the last 3 or 4 drinks, keep that extra 100 Rand or 100 whatever Rand it is going to cost you. Call someone, call CUHome and say, listen, I need a lift. Please help me.
And it happens so often, well, to me, especially
All
around
the
you.
time.
Where you go, it's
Especially
true.
around me.
You and Ian, when you go on Friday night, I said I wasn't going to drink anything.
Yeah.
But you get into the vibe, and
exactly.
it's impossible, and it's just silly to get in your car and drive home, not just for yourself, but for the other people.
For
on
everybody
the roads.
else. It's against the law. It's very dangerous.
Well, I think people also don't realize how quickly they can go. I'll give you an example. Go out for dinner, have a beer when you start there.
Yeah.
Have a glass of wine with your meal. A very average scenario. You're over the limit. That's it, done.
Exactly, you're done.
Get into a roadblock, they will treat you exactly the same as the guy whose legs don't even work anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
So, yeah.
Take that as good advice. CUHome SA on Twitter, CUHome on Facebook, and CUHome.co.za.
Yep.
Philip, thanks very much for your time. Thanks for coming.
Weekdays from 12 to 2 p.m. Central African Time.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Gears with Sasha Martinengo on bulls.co.za.